All right, this looks like credits. Right, it is credits. And despite me actually having stuff written down for credits, I actually don't really have that much. But I should bring it up anyways, but I'm not. Overall, I'm gonna say I like this game. And I gotta say that it is kind of weird for me to say that because one of the crowning complaints about this game, like it has mixed reviews on Steam, and that's because of how combat is approached. And in all honesty, I think I kind of ultimately agree with the design of the combat. And I think that's partly because I played Ys Origin first. Now, there is an important caveat here as well, is that if I didn't play Ys Origin first and I played this first, I don't know if I would have necessarily been interested in the Ys franchise based off of the gameplay of this. But because I played Ys Origin first, I know that the gameplay, I know that there must be some of that gameplay in later installments, and so I'm looking forward to revisiting that as opposed to this one. However, with that said, with the combat being like this kind of simplistic and weird, ultimately, I actually don't really have that many problems with it. I do wish that it was kind of more interactive, but at the same time, it is really cool to, well, it's cool and it's interesting and it's a like a fresh change of pace where I used this as an example before, like in Secret of Mana or games like that. You know, you gotta walk up and you gotta like swing your sword, you know, Zelda style, and you know you gotta wait for the enemies to die, and you know you're gonna be doing a lot of sitting around doing that. But in this game, it's just like I'm going to point A to point B, and if I see an enemy, I'm just gonna go diagonal and hit them, and then I'm still going straight. You know, it's straight lines all the time, and it makes for a very quick travel experience, and that in of itself was actually kind of enjoyable. So I appreciate that, and I also recognize that, you know, it's a really old game. You know, I don't know if the Ys franchise innovated or if they were just jumping on the train or something like that. So that in of itself is pretty cool. True Castlevania Symphony of the Night style. Do the game upside down after beating the first half. I do not want to be challenged, Dante. If I wanted to be challenged, I'd play on Nightmare difficulty or something. Those opposing arguments are half-baked since it's an old game. So, for me, like, I never really know if I want to judge a game either based off of its creation when it was first released, or if I want to judge it on when I actually played it. Because, I mean, sure, if, you know, playing this game in 2019, this game does not hold a candle to really any of the games that we all know and love of recent memory. You know, it's simplistic. The story is very simple. The gameplay is really simple. And there's really not much complexity to it. It follows a lot of the old school rules of, well, you know, we'll give you a line of dialogue here and then, you know, go find it. I will say that this game is actually a lot better at telling you where to go than a lot of other old school games that I've played. So that's really appreciated. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I want to judge it like when it came out, when it was like 89 or something like that, or if I want to judge it in 2019. But if I were to judge them both, I would say I don't remember when Zelda 1 came out. But I do feel like Zelda 1 combat is at least a little bit more interesting. But if this came out before Zelda 1, then I'm cool. I'm cool with it. 2019, I think it's a nice throwback. Absolutely. Let me see. It sounds weird on paper, but playing the contact thing ends up being extremely actiony and fast-paced and engaging. And besides, you started out this way to begin with. That is exactly where I wanted to go with that. Is that it is actually a lot more fast-paced than it. Like if you were to describe the combat of this game, it sounds horrible. But if you play it for a little while, it does kind of draw you in way more than it should, and that in of itself is extremely interesting. Second game introduces more methods of inflicting damage. That's good. I was hoping for like some spells or something like that. Never came across a spell. There was a door in the mines that I couldn't go through. So I don't know if that's exclusive to the second game or if I just didn't meet the criteria for going inside of it. Let's see. Play on Nightmare. Yeah, right. Shouldn't judge the older titles harshly, but should appreciate where the series has gone with its future titles. I agree with that. For the most part, there are some games where you look at them and you're just like, like for me, Zelda 1, I can't play that game. It is like back in the day, that was my kind of game. Nowadays, I can't even touch that game. It's just too old school, and between like the looks, the gameplay, yada yada, this and that, the game design, that's that kind of stuff I want to leave in the past. But at least for this game, it seems like it has. I don't know if it has updated visuals and things like that. I would assume so. This type of art didn't really seem either possible or prevalent way back when. So I think the updates to this game, whether it be art style, music, blah blah blah, really helped this game shine a lot more than it originally would have. You've beaten Ys 1 and 2 on Nightmare. It's really not that bad outside of Yagulion, the Bat, Dark Fact himself, and the Eye thing. Once you already know what to do. That Bat guy, I fought him with I fought him and I was doing like a tiny bit of damage to him. It took me like 10 minutes to beat that boss. It was crazy. And I don't even know if I was supposed to fight him at that point. But I guess I was, because there was a book behind him. Yeah, there's a magic system in 2. Excellent. Always got to go into the game with an open mind. Ys 3 is terrible. You already said Ys 3 was like the best one. For the most part, I do go into games with an open mind. Perhaps me reading the reviews or stumbling upon the reviews and actually reading them for this game did color my expectations of the combat in a negative way, but it actually makes my opinion of the combat of this game shine a little bit more, that I actually end up liking it despite, the flaws that it has. So, for for the most part, I go into games with a mind. Except for Undertale. I did not go into that game with an open. There's a few other games out there that I don't really go into an open mind. You know, like Senran Kagura. You know, are you really gonna go play that game with an open mind, or Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball? You know, like, I feel like you know what you're gonna get if you play those games. Let's see, Pikmin Run when? I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even think that's on my... Oh, I don't have Pikmin 2, Dante. Come on. I don't have Pikmin 2. 3 was your first Ys experience. It is incredibly different and awkward, but once you get into it, it does have some interesting systems still, just not implemented as well as it could have. If it's better, then like Ys Origin for me is the bar. I want all the Ys games after Origin to be equal to or greater than Origin. And if that can happen, that'll be great. The big problem that I have right now is I think Ys 4, like the Kefkin Sands or whatever, I don't know if I want to stop when I reach that game or skip it, because it's in Japanese only, and I don't know how I would play that. So I'm kind of on the fence about that, but I guess I still have like 2 and 3, so there's a little time before I have to get there. You play Dead or Alive for the story? You'll play Senran Kagura in front of your dad with a straight face? Get out of here. Get out of here. There is no way. Origin is very good, and there's 2 Ys 4s. Of the 2, only played Mask of the Sun, and aside from one boss with an awful hitbox detection early game, thought it was very good. Alright. I actually, when I was reading up on it, because I wanted to see if like there was like maybe some fan-made patches or something like that on an emulator. Well, I'll get into that in a second, but I actually heard that the game was worth skipping. So, I don't know. But one of the reasons that I'm thinking about skipping it is because if I buy the Super Famicom version, that's like super expensive. And, you know, I'm not going to pay $60+ or something like that for that Ys game. I'll play $60 for Ys 8. I'd rather not, but you know, I'll do it. You really need to get Ys 8. It was $40 on Black Friday on Best Buy, and it was sold out. I was very disappointed. Sold out everywhere. Anyways, we can continue chatting, but I need to end this thoughts video by saying that I like this game. It is not Ys Origin, but it has engaged me enough to keep going. Plus, I'm still riding hype from Ys Origin. And so, overall, I like this game. And if the developers are watching, I'd love for this game to get remade in Ys Origin combat style. That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. Other than that, that is the end of my thoughts.